videos on.
Nearly ready to go. These cars are getting really faster, aren't they, than the other ones?
Yeah, but quite modern as well. Okay, 20 seconds. Yeah. Yes, it does. Get talking, Liam.
Hello everybody and welcome to round 4 of the Formula SimRacing World Championship. Today we are in Shanghai, China, and in the commentary box with me at the moment is Roy Magnes, and we're looking for a superb race today. And but obviously there's one driver that isn't here, and that's Lee Morris, who's taking a break, so we'll feel his departure around the paddock and the British fans as well, so hopefully we'll see him back racing soon. But at the moment it's qualifier 1, I think, and Bono Huis is on a 1:31.7 in pole, followed by say Kirkos Twister Racing. And do you see it being a close race today, Roy, or do you think it's going to be fairly one-sided towards Bono Huis?
Well, based on the times right now, it looks like it's going to be quite close, at least between the two up ahead. There's a little distance down to the rest, but it's quite close between the rest of the guys as well. So it can be quite tight.
Yeah, we've seen in both races earlier there's a lot of action going on in the midfield from about position 5th to 12th. So hopefully it'll be just as exciting as the previous races, and we'll be in for a stormer, and it'll be a great finish to the race weekend.
Yeah, and this is the first practice, so the qualifying hasn't started just yet.
That was Kirkov went a bit wide, and he back in the pits.
From Rainer Room, who has the 3rd fastest time right now, down to Fredrik Nilsson in 15th. It is roughly Jenkins in 14th. There is roughly a second, 7 or 8 tenths. So it's quite close between a lot of drivers.
Yeah, Rasmus Tali's a bit off the pace there, and the Matt Court Racing, you'd be expecting him to be fighting at the front, but obviously it could be the car, it could be a few drive errors or a mixture of the both. But hopefully that will change during qualifying, as Tali will look to score as many points as he can, as will Fredrik Nilsson in the sister Twister Racing team.
Yeah, well, it depends on what kind of setup they're testing on right now. Some of them are on qualifying setup, of course, and some of them might be testing the race setup for later on.
Yeah, it's very important in these sessions to just try and fine-tune your performance and see what you feel most comfortable with, so you know where to go most aggressive. And also race strategy comes into play as well, and angles of the front wings and such.
Yeah.
Just looking through the field, they're all reasonably close really, but no one's really touching Bono Huis or say Kirkov at the moment. They're around 0.4, 0.5 in front of 3rd place Jaakko Mikkonen. So they've obviously done something that's enabled them to be especially quick around this track. And we'll hopefully see that in qualifying, as more cars will go very aggressive. But there's 18 seconds left of this now, of the pre-qualifying. So it's just the final moments now for the guys to get a one with the car before they go in and put it all on the line to get into the top 10 shootout in Q2, in which 10 cars go through. There's a 5-minute session, and it's just a battle for pole position, while the others have to sit and watch and just try and make any quick changes to the car. So it's the start of qualifying now. Will be very shortly, as you can see already. Cars moving to the end of the pit lane. De Angelis is there at the moment, followed by Renault Room, and look at them all just piling out. And Bono Huis is still actually in the actual pit lane, as they're all just in a really big scramble, eager to get out and set a lap time as soon as that green light comes on. Is it important to get out as quickly as possible, or would you prefer to go out on an empty track?
Well, it's from driver to driver, of course, but getting out and get one good lap right from the start gives you a sort of a cushion to take some extra risks on the remaining laps to go even faster.
I mean, the guys have got 10 minutes, so that's double the amount of time they have in the top 10 shootout. But they've got pretty much all. There's around 10 cars, I'd say, just all piled out at the moment, and they're all there just trying to set a lap. But of course, traffic will play a major part in who goes through to the top 10, because if you're on a really hot lap doing personal bests, and then there's a car that's been blue flagged and doesn't realise and then won't get out of the way, then that's obviously going to knock some vital seconds onto your time.
Yeah, it does.
9 minutes now, the cars hurdle round, and Bono Huis looks like he's leading the charge at the moment, as he charges down the back straight in his Precision Motorsports car. They're taking a bit of a wide line there, and you can see that the car bumping over the track. Let's see how sharply he brakes, if he goes aggressive on the outlap or no to get heat into the brakes. Yeah, he does. Some drivers would just lift off and then brake, just take it casual and then flat out down the straights, but Huis making sure there's enough heat in the tyres and the brakes to go out for a stormer of a flying lap, as Bono Huis crosses the line now to start his first flying lap of the race. Not race, qualifying session, beg your pardon. So they're all just coming round the straight now. David Greco in the Too Fast For You car charges down the straight as well. So they're all pretty much on track at the moment, as Ernesto De Angelis is on a lap, following Bono Huis. So these two will cross the line first out of everyone, it seems. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of pace these guys have and how far apart they are. I mean, De Angelis in the NetRex Grand Prix, and Huis in what seemed to be earlier a much faster Precision Motorsport. Oh, and it's Giuseppe Marconi there, as Huis went past. He looked like he'd stopped on track for a bit. I hope everything's okay. They might have just been letting Huis through, of course, which is a sensible decision not to carry on driving. But Huis now onto the longest straight of the track, up to nearly 200 miles an hour, 185 he's doing in 7th gear. You can hear the car nearly topping up in its revs, and he's about to brake sharply. Go down to gear 2, so that's a 5 gear change now to 50 mile an hour. Early on the throttle of the exit of the non-existent turn 16. Some people say exists, some people don't. But anyway, Bono Huis to set the first lap of the qualifying is a 131.9, so safely into the 131s just. But let's see what kind of lap David Greco does. And everyone, and Kirchhoff, Kirchhoff had a bit of a moment there. He's great, and that's a big time. He just went a bit wide on the exit of turn 17, and that's going to cost him. He's on a 133 at the moment, but he's still got 6 minutes to do something about it. But Renault Room just pulls out and kind of in his face. That's not the exit he wanted out the pit lane. But it's at the moment it's Huis from Greco, followed by Renault Room in P3. Karol Poniatowski in P4, followed by John-Eric Saxon, his teammate, who's 5th, Jaco Meeken in 6th, Dennis House 7th, Patrick DeWitt in 8th place in the speed car, and then there's Morgan Morand in the ATR Silverline, Jack Keatley, and Atsay Kirchhoff after a mistake. So that mistake was just a little wiggle, and that cost him, you know, well, you're looking at, he's half a second behind Jack Keatley in 12th in the GT Omega car. So, you know, just the slightest mistake can knock big chunks out of your time.
Yeah, especially in this kind of field as well, with a very high precision on every driver in the field. And we've got
these
the
are some of the
covering the top 13 right at the moment.
Yeah, these guys are all, you know, some of the best at what they do, you know, some of the best sim racers out there. And so when you just make the slightest mistake, it's going to cost you hugely in the field you're in. If you're in, you know, maybe, I can't give an example of a league, but maybe another league down where the drivers aren't so experienced, they're all young rookies coming up through the ranks, then of course if you made a mistake it wouldn't be so costly, as they'd all be making miniature errors. But these guys are so professional, and you know, any slight error is going to cost them a lot, as everyone tries to drive every lap perfectly. So you've got 4 minutes left now in this qualifying session. It looks like at the moment the top 10 are Huis from Greco and Reino Room rounding out the top 3. Then Karol Poniatowski and Mikko Puumalainen. Then it's John-Eric Saxon, Jaakko Miekkinen, Blair Disley, Alain Fort and Dennis Howe at the moment. Atsay Kirchhoff, one of the main contenders for the championship here in the Twister Racing, is going to be looking to make a mark here in the final stages.
Yeah, and we're following Atsay Kirchhoff pictures right now.
Also, Fredrik Nilsson, I believe, is starting from the back, as he didn't allocate in time in the other Twister Racing car. So that's going to be a big blow, but it'll also be nice to see what kind of pace he can produce during the race and see if he can fight in the top spots. Also, Rasmus Tali hasn't left the pits yet. I'm not sure if there's a problem or whether he's starting from the back as well. But either way, I think Rasmus, if he isn't starting from the back, he's going for a one-lap wonder. But we all know he's capable of that from past races. But it just depends whether the car and him, you know, are running on the same level, because he's going to need to push that car 110% to finish high in his race. It's David Greco, P2, as we look at him now. He's at 0.222 off of Bono Huis, so the lead isn't that great. So Bono Huis isn't going to have an easy job today, keeping that Too Fast For You car behind him. Or in fact, any of the cars in the top 5 really, they're all within 0.3 seconds. Karol Poniatowski improves, he's up to 4th now. Atsay Kirchhoff goes 5th after redoing his lap, and he made it perfect, but he leaves the pits again, so Kirchhoff still isn't happy and satisfied. There's Jaakko Miekkinen also breaks the top 5, he goes to 3rd. Any other precision, he's trying to support Bono as much as he can to secure the Constructors title, and P3 at the moment in qualifying, that's the way to go about it. Also, both Ash Aero F1 cars there as well. There's Alain Fort, the man on the bubble at the moment. He's 10th position, 0.5 off the leader. He's leaving the pits again. Just Dennis Howe pips him. Then that could mean the difference between, you know, number of positions as we get close to the end. And look at that, Blair Disley in a Too Fast For You car, bringing in a 132.065, just 0.1 off of pole position sitter Bono Huis. So he's really on a hot pace at the moment. So that Too Fast For You car really does have the pace to be fighting with the top contenders. As Atsay Kirchhoff down to 7th, is gone out again on another lap, trying to improve and make sure he does get in 10. As there are a few drivers below that top. Quite fancy their chances at a shootout. So all the people who aren't in the top 10, that's Ho, Patrick DeWitt, Morgan Moran, Jack Keatley, who's on a 132.623, Ernest DeAngelis, who's on track. So they're all pretty much on track, except for Jack Keithley, it seems. What
We're
kind of time can
following
Mark?
Bonovois around the track now. Where are we at?
Giuseppe Marconi's at a 1:38, so he's about 7 seconds off the pace, so he must have made a mistake in his lap. But Bono Huis turning very sharply there into that corner, being very aggressive with the car, almost like he's wrestling it, but the car is just going with the flow. It's not stepping out of line or slipping from under his clutches. It's still very tamed by Bono Huis. 38 seconds left for there to be a late twist in the tail here. John Eric Saxon, P9, also might want to improve his time. He starts his lap now. He's on a 1:32.4, just 0.2 safely into the top 10 really. Let's see if anyone can knock Bono Huis off the top spot at the end. As Huis comes down to the hairpin, he's looking very good as he turns in late, touches the apex, doesn't quite bounce over it, which is perfect, and then gains a lot of traction out in that corner. Let's see how he takes the final one. There's a slight lift off there, absolutely beautiful, and it's a pleasure to follow him as he doesn't better his time. It's still a 1:31.9, but that should easily sail him into the shootout, which is where he wants to be. Yes, he's on track. Blair Disley gets to start his lap as he crossed the line with like a second to go, I think. David Greco is also out, as is Jaakko Mikkonen in the other precision car. But it's still 4 at the moment. He's going to be a bit nervous. He's out on track trying to better it. He's in 10th position. He's 0.1 off there. But look at that, Atsej Kirchhoff answering to the call, goes second. He's probably guaranteed a spot inside that shootout. Now that's a very good lap there by Atsej Kirchhoff. So he'll be lucky he left it late. But Dennis Hull gets in the top 10 at the last second. He's put it in now, but is anyone else going to knock him off? Who's on? I don't think there's anyone else on track. Patrick De Witt, the only man to do it, I think. He's still on track, coming down the back towards the hairpin now, but for the moment it looks like Dennis Hull is going to go through to the top 10 shootout. Patrick De Witt comes down to the hairpin, nicely through, not quite touching the apex, so not too aggressive, but catches that one. Let's see how he takes the final corner. Bounces over it, that might cost him a couple of tenths as he flies across the line, and it's not good enough, so Patrick De Witt stays in 12th place. So Dennis Hull gets himself into the top 10, it seems, at the end of Q1. So I would say a nice indicator to what kind of pace these guys will be on in turn 1, because I meant the race even, because in Q1 you've still got, you know, Bono Huis and Kirchhoff, you know, safely in front of most people, but look at the gap between Kirchhoff and Disley. It's like 0.02 almost. That's it really. It's 0.015, so barely anything separating a Twister and a Too Fast For You Twister, but we'll see what happens in Q2.
I think it will be very interesting to see how they do in Q2, because the times are, well, the whole top 13 was within the 7/10 of a second, so I think...
Also, we've got Marcel helping us in commentary today, so an extra pair of eyes on his on the track. Have you picked a winner for this race yet, or are you still waiting to see how qualifying goes?
Again?
Have you picked a winner for this race yet, or are you still waiting to see what happens in this session?
Bono Huis is, well, he does a really good job from the start of the season, and if you look how he drives the car, it likes it. It's one. Bono is one with his car, so I think he's gonna win this one. And well, behind, I don't know. I don't know.
It's going to be close. I mean, we've seen in the
Yeah.
previous races how close the midfield has been. I mean, you know, you've got people from like 5th to 12th all in a massive train in the closing stages of the race. So nothing set in stone yet here in Shanghai, but it's certainly looking in favour of Bono Huis at the moment.
Well,
I'm not sure if you noticed, but when he left the pit lane, as soon as that green light came on, he charged out to make sure he's got some clean air to set his lap in. So a very
clean air
fighting attitude.
Clean air is just what you want here because of the corners just before the long straight. If you are behind someone, well, it's very hard to keep your lines and keep the pace. So you don't want to drive behind another car. For your,
absolutely, it's vital because
lap.
there's only 5 minutes in this session as well, so half the time of last session. So for many drivers it will be a one-lap thing, because once you go out again, you know, if you put in or change a wing angle or something, by the time you come out you've barely got time to finish one, let alone 2 laps. So it's really all or nothing with some of these drivers. They'll go for a one lap and then see what happens after that, or some will stay out but they'll be fueled heavier. So Kirkov also on the lap, as is Jon-Erik Saxon and Dennis Hull. And that seems to be it from the top 10 at the moment. The rest are out on track, but they're not on hot laps.
Well, Bono Huis has just started his hot lap, and we're going to stick with him for the full lap.
Yeah, Bono Huis is just coming down the straight now. You know, up to 185 mile an hour, probably, maybe even more. Yeah, 187. He's topping out at there, and listen to how sharply he brakes. So quickly downshifting through the gears. As Marcel said, he is at one with the car and there is no fighting or wrestling around the track. So Bono Huis, as he crosses the line, what kind of times he going to produce? Is at 132.4. So with race fuel added in, that's still only 0.5 slower than what he was lapping in Q1. Let's say Kirkov does a 133.5, and he might go out again, he might not. Doesn't look like it for now. Who else is on the lap? Blair Disley is coming round. Now who else is on the lap? He's not too close to the end. Mikko Puumalainen in P9 in the Mack Corp racing car. He's coming up to the back straight now as Dennis Hull does a 133.9 behind Kirkov, and Jon-Erik Saxon. He's still nearly he's about 0.8 seconds off of Bono Huis with a 133.2. So Huis again looking very dominant in this early stages of qualifying. As Blair Disley in too fast for you, looking well, it looked too fast for us in the qualifying session earlier, as he comes down the straight now. See what he maxes out at compared to Bono Huis. Looking at 184, 183. There's Poniatowski sitting in third now with a 133.398. As
Puumalainen
Disley,
second place.
yeah, Mikko Puumalainen has just taken second place away from Jon-Erik Saxon. Here comes Blair Disley. What can he do here? He goes. There's a 133.2 that puts him in fourth. So that's a very respectable time. But we've still got 2 cars out on track who are on a lap at the moment. That's David Greco and Jaakko Mikkonen. And with 19 seconds left, these will be the last 2 out. So let's see what kind of, if we can shake up anything at the end. Mikkonen, Bono Huis' teammate in the Precision Motorsports car. Let's see what kind of pace this beautiful car has under Jaakko Mikkonen. He's topping out a lot more down the straight. He's about 190, I saw him reach there as he came down the straight, turning in very late, treating this car like it's a baby of his as he just nurses it round, but so carefully, yet just so aggressive as well at the same time. As he comes down the back straight, what can he do? It's a 133.1, he goes second. So at the moment it looks like Precision Motorsports have locked out the front row here at qualifying. David Greco going to be the only man to stop that in the Too Fast for You Twister. Let's see who it's too fast for as it powers down the line. Now it's just a straight line. Try not to wiggle too much as you lose speed. Decide whether you're going to take it aggressive or no. Make the choice at the breaking point of where you're going to go at. Very late there. Do it just as they hit the apex. And David Greco So a very aggressive lap by him at the moment as he glides. He's too fast for you, car wide, missing that apex, careful not to take a bump, and let's see what time he does. It's a 1:33.3, so it's 6th place, so it's 5th and 6th, too fast for you twisters, but 1st and 2nd, Precision Motorsports looking very dominant with Bono Huis taking pole and Jaakko Mikkonen 2nd.
Look, the massive gap between Bono Huis and Jaakko Mikkonen. It's 0.6 seconds.
Yeah, Huis is actually in a league of its own at the moment. What a lap it must have been. I mean, John-Eric Saxon seems amazed in the chaff. I mean, that is insane as well. And just to get a 1:32 as well in that kind of conditions with race fuel on board. As we head into the warm-up session, let's see what kind of things they'll do now. What's the most important aspect of the warm-up session for you guys?
Well, it's for you can you just did a few laps with the low fuel, and your car's just it's very different with a full fuel load. So it's well, you have to again to learn, feel the car, and because it's well, you have 10 minutes, but it's very important to learn the car again. So well, I'm glad we have it.
Yeah, I mean, some drivers will use this for pit stops, others will use it just to make sure everything's perfect.
Still, we can make some little small adjustments after the Q2 session. So we can change the front wing settings, the brake map we can change, the brake pressure we can change. So it's a little bit different than in Q2. So
more of a fine tuning of the car,
yeah,
rather than big changes.
well, we see also Alsi Kirkhoff and Rainer Room a little bit fighting in the warm-up session. And that's also a thing they can learn right now. It's just stay a bit close to the one in front of you and feel a bit of the dirty air you're grabbing in the race. So it's you can also learn from that.
I think the microphone of Liam is up. So all I can hear is noise from him. Oh, and Rainer Room did spin behind Kirkhoff there.
A little bit too aggressive. Well, it's oh yeah.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things you
got that
can
a
do
bit
in the
wrong.
warm-up. Yeah, now I can hear you.
Right. So I mean, obviously, these guys are just going to. I mean, obviously, you know, Rainer Room and Alsi Kirkhoff starting next to each other on the grid, so they're going to want to, you know, learn each other's driving styles, how each other approaches the curves.
Yeah.
And the warm-up session as well, when tucked in behind the drivers, you really get to learn where the boundaries of the grip of the tires and everything are when behind another car. Like everyone is, not everyone, but Mikko Puumalainen is only 300ths of a second behind House. Not that untouchable in this session as he was in qualifying. That is here and now.
Well, Frederick Nielsen is in second place right now, warm-up session. 0.007. Well, if this is the race pace of Bono and Frederick Nielsen, and it could be a pleasure to watch today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to make out for a thrilling race. If as long as Bono gets a nice start, then it should be all looking clear for him. So
Sorry.
Right, so still looking like Bono Kuis is is 0.44 in front of Frederick Nielsen. So even though he's starting from the back, it looks like Nielsen's got some race pace going on there. Just he might be able to challenge for the higher positions, definitely.
Yeah. Certainly looks like it. He will be starting from the rear end of the grid. I haven't picked up quite why, but it'll be interesting to see how far up he can fight his way.
Yeah, definitely. And Karu Poniatowski leaves the pit lane with 2 minutes left on the clock, so we'll get a lap in. Just to see what kind of race. These guys all seem like they're on race pace at the moment. They're all pretty. The top four, all on 1:36, is Rasmus Tali, who I didn't set a qualifying time, is looking very comfortable there behind his teammate Mikko Puumalainen, just 0.1 off roughly. And Giuseppe Marconi is on a 1:38.414 in 14th place. He bounces over that final curb onto the pit straight. But again, looking pretty comfortable in the faster than speed car. So 1 minute 26 left in the warm-up now, and David Greco, P5 even, comes across the start-finish line. 80 seconds till the race, roughly now, as 1 minute 15 left on the warm-up session. So Greco can get another lap in just. He's got 1 minute left, but hopefully all the drivers can stay safe around lap 1 especially, and not make any contact with anyone or do anything stupid, and hopefully just have a nice, clean, safe, but still action-packed race.
Yeah, that's what we like to see.
In the World Trophy earlier, I mean, I think that's one DNF due to a suspension problem, and but still, it was a very clean race. But there was lots of overtaking and supreme defending by Jack Heatley, who's racing today, I believe. Once again, he's in P14 at the moment in the GT Omega. He looked very strong in the trophy earlier, and he's already done 46 laps today, minimum, during the race. So he's going to be looking very comfortable as he flies around the track, as he already seems to have mastered it earlier and got himself into a good position. So Atse Kirchhoff in the Twister at the moment, he's P9 on a lap and doing a 1:37.3, so he's around a second slower than Bono Huis at the moment. Let's see if he can improve his lap now. He got so the one.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
We now have 56 laps to go in China here, but before that we've got a 30-second break and then the warm-up to go through, where they all just go on a formation lap and just make sure everything's perfect for that launch off the grid. So the cars start to line up on the grid now, as Bono Huis will lead this talented field away for the warm-up lap. Huis and still pretty quick off the mark for a warm-up lap.
Giving the race start test as well.
Yeah, just making sure he can still get away pretty well. And you will see cars just using all the track and sometimes a little bit more on these warm-up laps, just making sure they have enough heat in the tyres and brakes. And you two have both driven, so you know, if you don't do the formation lap properly, we don't have enough heat into the tyres. And how crucial is it when you enter turn 1?
Well, just the car just keeps understeering and understeering, and especially when you're starting in the front, you have to wait for the other guys to when they go to their pit to their spot. So you're just waiting, and your tires, well, they're almost cold, and then first turn. Well, you don't want to do that one with the real cold tires. So you need so much heat into the tires. So that's why you see everybody weaving from left to right, maximum understeer. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you made a valid point about the guys at the back will get a much better launch into turn 1 due to the fact they'll have a lot more heat, because you know the guys at the front will have to wait for all the others to finish. So it's a very key point, and we'll see. You know, if people like Rasmus Tali and Frederick Nilsson can get a nice one into turn 1 and make up some positions.
Yeah. Well, let's all hope we get a nice and clean start.
Absolutely. So Bono Huis lines up on the grid and all the cars will go behind him. He's just got to wait and bide his time now and just wait for those 5 lights to light up in their bright red colours, which must seem like an eternity sat there. The adrenaline will start to kick in as we get ready to go underway here in China. Let's see what this kind of race will bring. The engines start revving. 4 lights, and we go! In China, Bono Huis gets a clean start. And that's a very good thing for Mikkonen. Up to second, it seems he's got past Pumalana. And look at that, Mikkonen right behind his teammate and side by side there with Pumalana in a Matt Corp as they head round. It seems like everyone's got through safely, I think. No major contact, really.
No, everybody through in a good way.
Yeah, Keatley had a big moment there in P13, but it was nothing to write home about. I mean, Bono Queens is 0.5 seconds clear of Jaakko Mykkänen already. So it's Solar Precision 1-2 as they're halfway around lap 1 now. Mikko Puumalainen in P3, followed by David Greco in 4th. So we've got Alain Fort up to a 9th place after getting knocked out qualifying into 11th. Rasmus Tali in 19th position, starting at the back of the pack. Fredrik Nilsson up to 17th as Fredrik Nilsson has a look on Marconi there, and oh, it's been almost a spin, and that was Jim Parasis, and Nilsson will easily take that place for 16th. He just got a bit of a moment, went sideways, recovered it well though as they'll head down the straight. Let's see if anyone can make a move down this long straight. And it's John-Eric Saxton, P5, having a look on David Greco. He's got the inside line. Can he make it stick? Greco tries to sweep round and very well defended by David Greco. Aksel Kirchhoff up to 7th, trying to follow Karel Poniatowski, but it seems once again they're all through okay. As Alain Fort, P10, oh, bit of a moment there again for Keatley. So he's trying to wrestle, but look at this. Alain Fort and Blair Disley side by side into turn 1. What can Alain Fort do? He has to back off slightly and let Patrick de Witt go, otherwise he would have just flown off the track. But Bono Quist already got a 0.882 second gap over Mykkänen after lap 1. Jack Keatley and Reino Room teammates are careful not to take each other out as Keatley has a look up the inside, tries to double back it, but he ain't going to make that one stick. So he's just got to watch on as Reino Room just slowly creeps away from him now, any other GT Omega racing car. This is for P11 and P12. Keatley, very aggressive driver and a very good defender, as we found out earlier in the World Trophy. Look at the gap now between Bono Quist and Jaakko Mykkänen. It's 1.2 seconds. So Bono Quist really starting to put pressure on the further cars behind.
Well, he's very, very quick. You can see it already. It's 1.2 seconds. Just like you said, it's, well, guys just on fire.
Yeah, and it's Fredrik Nilsson, P14, has a look at Dennis Ho. Glides up the inside of the Netrex Grand Prix car. Can he make it stick or no? Got to be careful as he nearly hit Keatley there. And they're side by side, but he might have to let Dennis Ho go this time and try and get him down the final straight. Yeah, tries and gets some nice traction out the back and should be able to pick up a nice slipstream of the Netrex Grand Prix car. Let's see what he can do into turn 1 then. Yeah, opens up at the inside, but it was never going to work. Such a hard pace to overtake in turn 1, maybe turn 2, but he's not quite close enough. So we'll be expecting some more drama from probably Reino Room downwards further on through the races. Rasmus Tali has got past Jim Parasis for 15th place, and he's going to try and push on to Fredrik Nilsson now. So quick run through of the order is Bono Quist leading from Jaakko Mykkänen of Precision Motorsport 1-2. Then Mikko Puumalainen, David Greco, John-Eric Saxton and Karel Poniatowski making it 5 and 6 here for Ash Aero F1. Patrick de Witt in 7th under a lot of pressure from Aksel Kirchhoff in 8th. Blair Disley in 9th and Alain Fort rounding up the top 10, but Blair Disley hot on the back of Kirchhoff. He's going to have to be careful as Kirchhoff's still concentrated on Patrick de Witt and might not be looking in his mirrors, so Disley will be looking to make any advantage he can if one of them mess up. Okay, it looked like Fredrik Nilsson is going to go for an overtake at the moment. He's P14, looking on Dennis Ho once again on the straight. He did this last lap, opens up on the inside. Let's see what he can do. If he's got enough speed this time in a twister, and yes he does. There's a big lock up from Reino Room in front, but Fredrik Nilsson up to P13 after a nice clean move on the Netrex Grand Prix car.
A good move, and he had passed him quite a bit in front of the corner as well. So he's had much more speed down straight.
The gap 1.6 between Quist and Mykkänen at the moment. We're on lap 4 of the Grand Prix. Kirchhoff very up in de Witt's face. This is for P7, and look how close he is through those corners. That faster than the speed car isn't faster than Kirchhoff at the moment, as The Twister gets right up on its back. Those mirrors will be full of Atsej Kirchhoff yellow helmet and blue Twister racing car. Let's see if he can put a move down the long straight towards the end of the lap. But right now he's just going to stay snug behind him and wait for the prime opportunity to get past him. Oh, it looked like he went a bit wide there, but no major thing as Jack Keatley still can't get past Reino Room. There's a nice train of cars between Keatley, Room, Fort, Blair, Disley, who's still following Kirchhoff. So Kirchhoff, De Witt and Disley are all very close at the moment, from P9 to P7, all within 1 second of each other. As they come down the straight now, let's see who makes any moves. Kirchhoff's going to try and pick up De Witt's slipstream. If he can get close enough, we'll have to wait and see. De Witt's trying to make his mind up what line to take, and as Kirchhoff gets really close, oh, what a move, pulling out right at the end. I'd say Kirchhoff, if he can just pull that out of the bag, and he looks like he may have done it.
Yeah.
What a super move. Pulling
Nice
away at the
complete.
absolute last second. What a move by Atsej Kirchhoff. That was superb, just pulling away at the absolute last second on the outside. And Blair Disley, P9, will watch on and try and put one past Patrick De Witt. He goes a bit wide, and oh, Blair Disley nearly went up the inside there, but got very close to him. Just might try, and he's a sneaky driver, Disley. He's not going to miss any mistakes made by these two drivers in front. And meanwhile, further back, Jack Keatley has lost a place to Fort, who's now chasing down Reino Room in the ATR Silver line. So still a nice little group there going as Frederick Nilsson's hot on the back of it in the other Twister racing car. Let's see if he can make a mirror move into that straight on Jack Keatley. But back up front, 2 seconds now the gap, 2.3 between Bono Quist and Jaakko Mikkonen. So Bono Quist
knocking on the door. Puma are knocking on the door of Mikkonen. And now I think closing the gap a little bit.
Yeah, Puma definitely not letting Mikkonen run away with the second place.
No. But the top speed of the Precision Motorsport car is very, very good.
Yeah, Reino Room, this is for P12. No, Jack Keatley, I beg your pardon, for P11. Retaking Ala Fort. And as Frederick Nilsson will watch on and try and get an advantage, as he just very close on the back of this train and try and get a slipstream, I guess, down the home straight here. The Shanghai, so we're 5 laps in now. As let's see what Frederick Nilsson can do. He's right up close to Fort. What's he going to do? Very aggressive driver. He's got the inside line, and that looks like a clean move into turn 1 there by Frederick Nilsson if he can hold his ground.
Again, a very good move. Made his decision very early and followed it through.
Yeah, these Twister cars making a very nice overtakes early on in the race. Well, Bono Quist doesn't have to deal with that. He's 2.5 seconds in front of Jaakko Mikkonen and 3 in front of Mikko Puumalainen. Meanwhile, Blair Disley, P9, is trying to overtake Patrick De Witt. He's getting very up close and personal to the faster than speed car. So Kirchhoff, of course, got past De Witt, while Disley could just watch on and try and pick his moment. And I think he might this lap. He's definitely close enough as he breezes right up to the back of him, almost contact, and he had to brake a bit there. And he's just going to try and, get him down the straight, see if he can pass De Witt on the longest straight of the track. The start of Sector 3, let's see what he can do. Here comes Blair Disley. De Witt still not sure what line he's going to take, inside or outside, waiting for Disley to make a decision, but I don't think he'll get him this time. Or he's going to look for it. No, sensibly back to the way. He might try and creep underneath if De Witt one's wide, but not this time. And there's a lot of position swapping as Frederick Nilsson at to P12 after overtaking Dennis Howell. So Nilsson on the way up the pack, and he follows Jack Keatley in P11, trying to overtake both GT Omegas next to break into the top 10.
And Ala Fort has just lost a few positions. He's now P14.
P15? No, he's P15
yeah.
now. He loses to Rasmus Tarley as well. Well, he must have done a massive moment and let Tarley through, but he might try and creep back up the inside here, I'm not sure. It's a nice train of cars. They're all very in little groups here of 3 or more, it seems. But Yeah, big moment there for Fort. And still, you know, Jim Paris is still in the race. It's just a big moment he had on lap 1 or 2 even, and he's still in the race. There was no major contact. He's still in front of De Angelis and Giuseppe Marconi and Morgan Morand as well. He's 41 seconds off the lead in 19th place, so something must have happened to him. But the gap 3.1 now between Huis and Mikkonen. And Puumalainen still hot on Mikkonen's tail as they head down the straight. It is for P2, but I don't think Puumalainen's going to get close enough to make a move this time. He's just got to keep pushing and apply the pressure onto Mikkonen and see if he does have a faster car to try and break the mould here and split these two precision motorsports. We seem to be dominating at the moment. Meanwhile, Blair Disley and Patrick De Witt going at it still, and Disley nearly had it on De Witt there, but still couldn't quite cut it off, and Rainer Room watching on as he seems to try and get away from Keatley a bit. So let's see if Rainer Room can put a move on Disley. So you've got a train of around 5 cars here, all very close together. As this is Frederick Nilsson into turn 1, side by side with Jack Keatley.
A little touch.
Bit frisky. Luckily there was no front wing shedding or anything like that. So very aggressive driving here by both drivers. And let's see if Nilsson can move up to P11 next lap.
Well, it looks like Patrick De Witt is holding up the other guys. It's just like a truly train. But now you can see that it's very, very hard to pass even the long straight. It's just so hard to pass.
Yeah, this track is obviously, you know, one that is all about pace and which car has the greatest straight line speed. It's, you know, the main bulk of the track is straights. But, you know, the corners that are there are very hard to overtake on. I mean, there's about 2 or 3 corners which you can probably do a nice clean overtake without any risk of spinning off. So these drivers have got to be so careful when they plan an overtaking manoeuvre. And this straight here that they're going down now is obviously a key overtaking spot. As Brad Disley tries to showcase this, goes down the outside of Patrick De Witt for P8. See if he can do it. Oh, and De Witt still hanging on.
Still not.
Oh. Blair Disley might have the inside line, but wasn't going to risk that. He was too close to the barrier here. So he's lost a bit of time, but I'm sure he'll make that back. As talking of losing time, 3.666 seconds separate Huis and Mikkonen. Now, so Huis is really starting to get away from these guys now. 16 seconds, separate 10th place from 1st place. He's already pulling away, so when this is 8 laps in as well, so if you think, you know, 18 laps later when they start about thinking making their first pit stops, then obviously Bono's going to have a nice advantage to try and get out in front of everyone else. And Frederick Nilsson's still not past Jack Keatley yet. He's hot on his tail though in this GT Omega pair, and he's got to get past. There's about 4 cars in this little train. And let's see what Nilsson can do down the straight. He's very close to Keatley as he goes down this corner. Keatley bounces over the curbs, and that's going to cost him some time as Nilsson's going to just slowly breeze up to him now down this straight. Let's see if he can pull off another manoeuvre. See if he can mirror what his teammate Akshay Kirchhoff did earlier when he overtook on here and just made a superb manoeuvre. See, he's getting very close at the moment as Keatley seems to have the inside line. Nilsson again does up the inside, but didn't brake late enough. If he did, he probably would have gone streaming off. So sensible there by Nilsson, but great defending, you've got to say, by Jack Keatley. Akshay Kirchhoff P7 in the other twister is following Karol Poniatowski, and you never know, there might be a move soon here. These two are around 0.5 off of each other as Kirchhoff is just slowly getting up to the back of him now, and there might be a move as these two head on to the latter stages of the lap. And there's a group of 3 cars all within there's 17-second mark, and that's Blair Disley, Renault Room and Patrick DeWitt. Disley still can't find a way past Patrick DeWitt. He's searching all angles, he's weaving like crazy behind him, and Renault Room is just seeing this, you know, yellow blur almost just flying around the back of Patrick DeWitt's car. As they head into the last stages of the lap, let's see if Disley can make it stick this time. He's gone around now, let's see if he can get nice traction. Very early on in the slipstream there by Disley. So you can see DeWitt starts to get away, but as soon as they hit that straight, Disley is right on it. It's forcing DeWitt into a decision what line to take. As Blair Disley breezes up, he goes down the outside. If he's got enough speed, can he do it? Oh, they're going to try and both take that inside line, but Blair Disley's going to have to sweep around. He's P8 for now, but they're going to be side by side. Surely he's done it.
And Renault Room is also getting a better grid right now. So Patrick DeWitt lost 2 positions, 3 positions, 4.
Yeah, DeWitt had a massive moment on the exit of the final corner, just went a bit sideways. It was a big save there by DeWitt. If he'd have crashed then, that would have, should have at least taken his front wing off. But great recovery by DeWitt, but unfortunately he's slipped behind Nilsson, Keatley and Room, and none of those 3 drivers are going to want to surrender the positions they're in at the moment. This is all for up to 8th position. If you think, and Patrick DeWitt has now got to fight his way past Frederick Nilsson, Jack Keatley, Renault Room and Blair Disley to get back to where he was before. And that's going to be a very hard task for him. So a quick run through now, it's Bono Huis who's leading on lap 11. He's 4.5 seconds in front of Jaakko Mikkonen and Mikko Puumalainen, followed by David Greco. John-Eric Saxon in P5, Karel Poniatowski being hunted down by Atse Kirchhoff, who's losing a bit of time, but Kirchhoff's still with him and will capitalise on any mistake he makes. Blair Disley in P8, Renault Room in 9th, followed by Jack Keatley rounding out the top 10. P11, oh, and look at that, Frederick Nilsson getting past Keatley there in P10, so that was a good move there by Frederick. Oh, but Keatley's taking it back, it seems. So a lot of position, look at these, they head onto the back straight now. Nilsson's got a slipstream of Jack Keatley very early on down the straight. Surely that twist has got enough pace to overtake the GT Omega. He sweeps around the outside, and again Keatley doing some superb defending here, forcing Nilsson round the outside. Careful not to lock up, as the mirrors of Keatley full of a blue Twister racing car, and he's not going to like that. He wants to try and shake it as quick as possible, but right now it seems he can't, as Nilsson goes up the inside. Got to back off because there'll be contact there. But below that you've got Patrick DeWitt and Dennis Hell fighting over P12 now after DeWitt's little moment. 5 seconds the gap between Bono Huis and Jaakko Mikkonen right now in lap 12 out of 56. Further behind is Rasmus Tali up to 14th place. Alain Fort down in 15th place actually. I'm not sure what exactly happened to Fort, but Jim Paris is in 16th. And then 17th is Ernesto De Angelis, 18th was Seppi Marconi, and 19th is Morgan Morland.
Oh, and Atse Kirchhoff is getting Poniatowski inside.
Yeah, he's going to have a nice run. He's going to have a nice run into turn 1 if he can just stay with him. It was a brave move again by Kirchhoff on that corner. He knows where to overtake as he picks up a nice slipstream into turn 1. Let's see if he can pull a move off. He looks like he's taken the outside line as Poniatowski has to go defensive. He's going to have to go all out defensive now for around the next 5 laps until Kirchhoff gets past him or fades away. Either way, Poniatowski's not going to have it easy as he has a bit of a twitch on the exit of turn 2. Meanwhile, Rasmus Tali and Dennis Hell swap in position to P13 and 14 as they go around turn 1 and 2. So he's having a nice race as Dennis Hell watches on against Patrick DeWitt. But right now he's got bigger problems to worry about. Rasmus Tali, so if he tries a move on Patrick DeWitt, then Rasmus Tali will be there to capitalise. So Tali is right up with him now, with Dennis Howe and everybody. There's still that train there of about 14 ducks around 8. They're all pretty close to each other. Now be very careful now. Tali bounces over those curbs as they will start to head down the straight now. 25 seconds separate 14. And Jack Keighley spun. Jack Keighley is spun in the GT Omega Racing on the exit of the little snail thing. Jack Keighley has spun his car. He's down to 17th place.
And Atse Kirchhoff overtakes Kwiatkowski. No. Second. Yes.
Yeah. Jack Keighley is now Jack Keighley is now a did not finish, so he must have had some sort of damage when he spun. But Jack Keighley is not in the race anymore, and that's going to be a big blow to him. He was going for a nice finish today with both cars inside the top 10, but that's not going to happen now, and it's going to be a big disappointment.
It'll be interesting to see the pace now. That's Kirchhoff now that he's finally gone past up to 6th position. Can hunt down Saxen as well.
Absolutely, and his teammate Frederick Nilsson inside the top 10 as well here. So after starting from the back of the grid, he's fought himself up to a points position, and he'll be looking to track down Reino Rooms sooner rather than later. Yeah, so Nilsson's going to be trying to just breeze up to Reino Room this lap and hopefully take him in the next couple. Not sure what's happened. It seems Frederick Nilsson's up to 9th, so what's happening here? Did someone put it in or something?
David Greco is falling back.
No, I think it's just one of those glitch things again.
Yeah, looks like it.
Because there's no real mistake here from David Greco. He's
No.
still nearly 6 seconds now, 5.9 separate Bono Huis from Jaakko Mikkonen. And well, it's not going to be settling down too well on Mikkonen. He's still keeping with him though, compared to 4th place David Greco, who is 10 seconds behind. But he wants to get as close as possible and possibly take the win. But a 1-2 finish for precision. Well, they couldn't ask for more than that, could they?
Oh, they already got a quite healthy lead in the team championship as well. So.
Yeah, meanwhile down the field, this is for 9th place. Meanwhile, 9th, 8th, 7th, all in battle here as John-Eric Saxon is on one of those glitch runs. But Frederick Nilsson breezing up to the back of Reino Room now. He might be able to try and take him on this straight and do another daring move into that tight hairpin of turn 15. See what he can do. We're on lap 15 here as well, so lap 15, turn 15, numbers match. Could be a lucky number here for Frederick Nilsson. Yeah, he's just breezing now around that long, fast corner, the fastest corner on the track, as it's non-stop flat out as they breeze onto the straight. Let's see how close he can get to Reino Room's GT Omega and P9 at the moment. He gets close, but only later on in the lap, so I think he'll have to wait another lap to try and take this position. It's very close to him now. If Reino Room had spun it there, that would have been disastrous. I've seen drivers do it there before, but Bono Huis leading from Mikkonen, then Puumalainen, Greco, Saxon, Kirchhoff, Poniatowski in 7th, Blair Disley P8 in a too fast for you twister, Reino Room highly under pressure from Frederick Nilsson in a P9 and 10, Dennis Howe 11th, Patrick DeWitt 12th, Rasmus Tali fighting there for the 13th position, and he gets a bit wiggly. Oh wait, he's got Alain Fort behind him. Oh no, he's right behind him in the Silverline car. And then Parasis, DeAndres and Marconi rounding out the rest of the run, as it seems. Oh, and Jack Keighley as well, but he's out, and Morgan Moran, who's P18 now due to Jack Keighley's DNF. But Alain Fort all over the back of Rasmus Tali, as is Nilsson over Reino Room, as these two glide on. Look how close he is now Reino Room and Frederick Nelson. Oh, we're on lap 16 now as we come round to that really quick corner again. Let's see what Nelson can do this time round on the long straight. He's a lot closer than he was last lap, so let's see if he can put a move past Room as he goes a bit wide, so he might use that to his advantage. Early on the slipstream, just stays with him all the way, and look at him glide up to the back of that GT Omega Racing. Reino Room takes the inside line. Frederick Nelson, he can't do that, he's got to go back on the outside. Very well covered there by Reino Room, forcing him to go down the outside. Great way of covering the line, but Nelson still takes a position of P9, so a good move by Frederick Nelson. Even though Reino Room forced him on the outside, it still gave Nelson enough room to overtake.
Yeah, and
Well,
up
you
ahead
saw
of him,
that,
I watched Blair Disley now over a couple of laps. He's closing in on Poniatowski by second for each lap, so I guess there will be a fight in a lap or two.
Yeah, absolutely. That too fast for you car is too fast for the Ash Arrow F1 at the moment. Karol Poniatowski. He's already surrendered a position to Kirchhoff Poniatowski, so he's not going to want to surrender another one. But Kirchhoff is trying to push on towards John Eric Saxon. He's around 5 seconds away, I think. So Kirchhoff's got a bit of work to do if he wants a top 5 finish today. Nothing's out of the question. I mean, we've still got the first round of pit stops to go yet, so anything can happen during that. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of drivers pit first, whether it'll be what like Bono Cruz will pit mainly. Will he go in the first of the runners, or will he try and wait out as much as possible, because his lap times are very quick at the moment. You know, he's just done a personal best at a 1:36.055, so it's not like he needs to pit in right now.
No, I don't really think he will try to pit just yet. I mean, since he's still doing better and better lap times for each lap that goes by, I think he will wait until the lap times start to increase a little bit again.
Yeah, Blair Disley still. Oh, look at Blair Disley and Poniatowski. He's getting very up close and personal there. And Poniatowski just got a bit out of shape and gave Blair Disley a little run at him. Wasn't enough to make the move, but it was enough to probably scare Poniatowski a bit as that yellow blur just glides towards him. And is he going to have a look now? No, he's not. But I'm sure when they get to that long straight again, Blair Disley definitely going to have a look.
the traction of the corner 15 is just to throttle slightly on and don't get any wheel spin and stuck behind the other car and then overtake him, but it's very hard to get a good traction out of that corner.
Yeah, it's now Blair Disley. Let's see how hard it is to get traction out of the corner as Blair Disley follows Karol Poniatowski. He moves to the inside line, not as drastic as Reino Room does. He covered the whole racing line there, is forcing him around the outside, but Disley's still not close enough. I mean, that Ash Aero car looks still very quick down the straights, but Disley's getting a much better traction as he comes out of the corners and gets on the throttle a lot earlier as well. Still 7.5 seconds now between Mikkonen and Huis. So Huis still trying to pull away and run away with this, but the only guys not inside 10 seconds are Puumalainen and Mikkonen, the rest are 12 seconds and downwards. So Huis is really flowing in front of the field. So when he makes a pit stop, it's roughly 20 seconds. So he's looking to come out in between Atsej Kirchhoff and Karol Poniatowski at the moment. Somewhere in between that if he pitted this lap. But Blair Disley has got more things on his mind than pitting, as he's still trying to fight his way past Karol Poniatowski's Ash Aero F1 car. Look a wider line there, Poniatowski's. Oh, and Blair Disley slips through on the inside. That's a big nearly contact, but Poniatowski holds the line well. That was very close there. Not a prime overtaking spot, so would have been a risky move there by Disley, and it nearly paid off. And let's see what he can do down the. Yeah, let's see what he can do down the straight as he picks up a slipstream. Looks a bit closer this time as he enters the straight. See how close he is when he exits it. And it's still not close enough. He just can't quite get him down the straight, but through the corners he's so much quicker. He's not almost being held up, it's just he can't get the pace to get past him on the straight. You might have to try and wait till the pit stops and leapfrog him. But the gap's starting to open up now. This is really the only major battle going on the field, except for Alafort and Patrick De Witt, who gets a bit leery there on the exit of turn 17, which you could call that. He's 1.5 seconds off of, no, about 1.3 seconds behind Alafort. And there's a place change there that looked like, oh, it's just David Greco's glitching again. And still the only DNF this race is Jack Keithley. And no Lee Mize today, of course, due to him taking a break, which is we had a big effect on the FSR community, and his presence won't be felt. You know, he's a great guy and a great driver, so would have been interesting to see where he would have ended up today. But still, oh, look at that! Look at Puma Linden now. He's within 0.5 seconds of Meekinen. P2 and 3. These two are going to really go out now over the next couple of laps, it seems. Look at that MacCorp racing all over the back. Jaakko Meekinen's Precision Motorsports. Let's see what he can do down the pit straight then if he's got that extra bit of speed. As we're on lap 21. Meanwhile, Blair Disley going side by side with Poniatowski there for P8 and P7. So he nearly had him on the exit of the final corner. They're going down the pit straight now, and Poniatowski's still somehow holding on against his Too Fast For You. You got to think Blair Disley's going to be getting pretty frustrated about now as he's trying to fight his way past now.
And while those two are really fighting, Fredrik Nilsson is weak this way up in behind. He's right on the tail now.
Yeah, Nilsson, kind of unnoticed, goes past Disley, and Reamy's always gone past Disley up the inside. That's a really unlikely place to make a move, and Nilsson's made it stick. So P8 for Fredrik Nilsson. Let's see if a much faster Twister car, if he's quicker than a Too Fast For You car, let's see if he can get past Poniatowski as well. Because right now this man is on a charge after passing Renault Room unnoticed, but the Blair Disley pass was very noticeable. And let's see if he can do the same on Poniatowski, maybe even this lap if he can get close enough.
Well, he does just a good job. Starting almost from the back. Now P8. Solid drive, nice overtaking.
Let's see what he can do now as he's trying to catch Poniatowski. I don't think he's going to get close enough this lap. But look at the speed it gets now, due to the slipstream, up to 192 miles per hour as he just quickly shifts down into second gear. And now's Poniatowski going wide. He seems to be doing that a lot lately. And if Nilsson was a bit closer, that would have given him a run up the outside to be able to sweep across that final corner. But Nilsson got enough traction out of that final corner to maybe have a run into turns 1 and 2. Look how close he's getting now. He's going to force up the inside. And he should have the race in line, but look at that, late braking by Poniatowski forces him wide, and Nilsson up to P7 after a great move. Yeah, so Nilsson's held that. That was a superb move there by Fred Nilsson in the Twister racing car. He's now behind his teammate, Atsay Kirchhoff. 3 seconds separate the two. Hopefully these two, if they do end up passing, get past okay. But Blair Disley and Poniatowski fighting once again. So they've both let Nilsson through almost, and these two right back at it once again. So Disley nearly got past as well. So it's Sweet at the moment, 8 seconds clear of Meekinen and Puma Linden, then followed by David Greco, John-Eric Saxon, Atsay Kirchhoff and Fredrik Nilsson, the two Twisters in a double points finish at the moment. Then Karel Poniatowski very closely followed by Blair Disley and Renault Room rounding out the top 10. We're on lap 22, nearly lap 23 now as Blair Disley tries and picks up a slipstream down the straight. He's getting closer and closer every time. But that car is just too quick down the straights at the moment for Blair Disley. I think he's going to have to wait and try and overtake him in the pit stop window. Look how much Nilsson's pulled away.
Patrick De Witt has been the first guy in the pits.
Right, so lap 23 then, the opening and mark for the pit stops as Patrick De Witt comes in. Let's see where he feeds back. Oh, he's in 18th place. So let's see cars pits in now. Next lap. It'll be interesting to see when the leaders pit in. Yeah, when the top 10 pit in really, because they're going to reshuffle a lot. You know, from I'd say Kirchhoff down to probably looking at maybe so from 6th to 11th place, probably all going to shuffle around a bit due to the pit stop window.
Ooh, Blair Disley almost taking Poniatowski.
Surely he's got to do it this
Sector
lap.
One.
And they're still
Must
very
be
early
hard
on
for
in
the
the
guy.
He's going to be getting pretty frustrated now, but thing is, when you're racing a guy like, you know, Poniatowski and trying to overtake him, you have to keep composure. If you let that kind of frustration interfere with your driving, then it's going to allow a mistake by Disley, and well, he's not going to end up too well, so he's just got to try and not let it get to him, and feel that feeling of satisfaction when he finally does get past that Ash Aero car. As they come on the straight once again, he's a lot closer this time, trying to weave in and out of the slipstream, force Poniatowski to make a decision. He's not catching up at the rate he'd like, but he's catching up towards the end of the straight, towards a breaking point. He blared once the inside, he can't do it, so he's going to try and go down the outside and sweep it around, but he's going to get pushed wide slightly there by Poniatowski, but it looks like he's made it stick. So a good move there by Blair Disley.
Nice overtaking, yeah.
Oh, and a big moment there.
Run a bit of the curve.
Just run over the curve too much, two wheels, bit of a twitch, and all that hard work has just gone to waste as Poniatowski slips back through. What good racing here.
Yeah, it was a nice overtaking. But, well, you can see that if you run at the last corner a little bit too much to the outside, the curve just lifts the car a little bit up, and you have no traction anymore. So that's why Disley lost his third position to Poniatowski again. So that was he just where he started.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be able to get it back though. I mean, as long as he didn't have the pace for once, he finally got past, and just a silly, yeah, just a mini second error that, just a, you know, a split loss of focus and a big twitch there for him as well. But a split second of loss of focus can just really do a lot of damage to a lap time or even a race.
Yeah.
So he's a lot closer now. Look how close he is as he flies around. Oh no, Poniatowski spun! Disley's lost his front wing. Oh no! What despair for Disley, but what about Poniatowski? He's lost, Poniatowski hasn't lost his front wing, so he'll remake the positions hopefully. But Patrick De Witt is in the garage apparently, so we're not sure what happened there. But Poniatowski having a big spin, and Blair Disley could do nothing but just get his front wing completely wiped off, and look how wide he's gone. And Patrick Poniatowski's just going to slip back through. Oh no, but hopefully this might work out okay for Disley, because we're near the pit stops anyway. If it was, you know, lap 40, lap 50, they're both pitting in on the same lap. But if this was lap 40, lap 50, this would be absolutely disastrous for Blair Disley, but maybe not all hope is lost. If Poniatowski has a bit of a twitch on the way in, let's see if he can get out before Poniatowski.
Edson Kirchhoff has done his pit stop right now. Going to through turn 1.
Yeah, he's still inside the top 10. The Twister Racing car. Frederick Nilsson still yet to stop up to P6. He's got to be feeling pretty happy now. He's fought his way up the field valiantly. And you just see where he feeds out after the first round of pit stops. I mean, you have to feel sorry for Blair Disley. Is he still in the pits, or no? He's out on track. He's just behind Poniatowski, so not all hope is lost. He's still up for another fight. I mean, what, a second off at the moment? Error by Poniatowski. That split a second of loss of concentration I was on about. just enabled him to spin his car and then just wipe Blair Disley's wing clean off. So that's not the way Blair Disley wanted to enter the pits, but either way, he's still within a fighting chance of getting past Poniatowski. So not all hope is lost yet for him.
And Patrick DeWitt has retired.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I was anything wrong with the car, whether it was just a DNF. It looks okay in the garage, but the Fast and Speed car is now out of the race. There's Mikko Piemelainen. All of a sudden, he's Jaakko Miikkanen's pitted in, of course, I think, so he's down to 4th.
Microphone is cracking very loud now. Liam. Yeah, just it looks like a disconnection for Patrick DeWitt.
Yeah, again, and not the way he wanted to go out, but still a few positives to take away from the weekend.
Jaakko Miikkanen has been into the pits as well, and he's only dropped 1 position on it. Well,
yeah, but now he's on. Remember, this could be vital during the latter stages because he's going to have a lot more fresher tyres than Mikko Piemelainen, depending on when he stops. And if Piemelainen stops later and Miikkanen gets a lot closer on the fresher tyres, this is going to enable Miikkanen to have a much easier run through and overtake him and either of Piemelainen because he'll be on older tyres now. But Piemelainen will have the fresher tyres when he pits in. And Piemelainen pits in this lap, so this is vital. These two were close earlier. Piemelainen doesn't mess up his entry and very clean, no twitch, no hitting the barrier and clipping the wing off. So let's see how Piemelainen stop fares as he stops for his box right about now. Very clean in as well.
Just past start finish right now.
Let's see if Miikkanen can get past.
No.
Oh, and he has done as well, yeah. So nothing in the end. Big game for Piemelainen, but 28 seconds behind that Bono Huis. He's still yet to pit. Let's just take a look at the Bono Huis lap times. They're slowly going up, but look at the really. Or did he actually pit in? He might have done. He's still pumping in 130. His last lap was a 135.934, which is the first lap inside, the 135s for him after doing a 136. So yeah, I think he might need to pit in. He's at the high end of the 135s now, but he's still not, touching the 137s or anything like that. So he might need to come in as that was someone leaving the pits. I think that was Marconi. It might have been actually.
Well, I think Bono Huis is pitting right now.
Yeah, as is Giuseppe Marconi.
No.
Gonna...
Goes another lap.
This could be a bit silly by Huis. He's lapping a lot higher than before. But let's have a look at Jaakko Miikkanen's times. He did a 150 that lap. Jeez, that was his out lap. But let's see what he starts pumping in paces now, because before he was doing low 136s when Huis is starting to do highs. So let's kind of see what pace these guys have. And another close battle is still P11, P10. Dennis Hull, Reino Room coming down the back straight now. Let's see if Dennis Hull and the Netrex can get back past Reino Room. He's getting very close. Room again taking that inside line. He goes right to the end. And again forcing Hull, just as he did to Nilsson. But Dennis Hull should be able to get this one if he's got enough speed. Looked like there was almost contact there. But both of them through safely. And Dennis Hull making a nice clean manoeuvre around the hairpin to take 10th place. And it's Rasmus Tali, who's in P8 at the moment, being followed by Fredrik Nilsson. Nilsson, having made his pit stop now, I believe, is trying to follow Tali, who hasn't. So Tali's going to be on old tyres, and you can see the way the car twitches now for Tali around the corners of just how bad these old tyres are going to start to shred and affect your lap times.
I think what Bono Huis is trying to do now is to get as close as pitting now on the 28th lap, so we hit the halfway point. Yeah,
so the exact halfway point. And Bono Huis enters the pits. Let's see if it was a good decision or bad decision, but of course he'll be on much fresher tyres than Miikkanen and Piemelainen, about 3 or 4 laps worth it seems. Oh, that's a very quick stop there by Huis, and he's not going to lose too much time at all there. As Mikkonen still coming round on the pit straight. As Huis leaves the pits, Mikkonen still hasn't crossed the line yet. He does now. So Huis safely out into the lead. And pit stopping without changing any position. So Huis has got this race right in the palm of his hands at the moment.
Yeah, and he's really had that from the start. Pulled away to get the gap that he needed to be comfortable to just drive his own tempo around there. And as it turned out, his own tempo has been higher than anybody else.
Yeah, also Fredrik Nilsson getting very close still to Rasmus Tali. Surely you've got to feel a move coming on eventually here. And maybe even this lap if he can stay this close. 0.3 away from each other as they enter the end of the first sector. 7 seconds.
Up ahead of him, and he hasn't pitted yet.
Yeah, Jaakko Mikkonen as well is 7 seconds behind the race leader Bono Huis. And he's doing a good job of keeping Pumalina behind as well. They're now 3 seconds apart after being, very close to having a fight there later on. As John-Eric Saxon P5, Kirchhoff P6, not too far behind. Ernesto De Angelis is in P7. Rasmus Tali in 8th, still yet to pit though, so he's trying to get the most out of his tyres as he can, as he's being hunted down by Nilsson on the straight. But Tali also trying to hunt down De Angelis. Three-way battle going on here as Tali gets very close to Ernesto De Angelis. Opens up on the outside. Oh, and Tali taking... look at De Angelis. Oh, he's gone well wide and he's lost a place to Nilsson as well. So Nilsson up to 8th. After De Angelis just outbraked himself, went too late, and De Angelis dives into the pits.
Yeah, I think his tyres have really seen the best.
Absolutely. So that was a big moment there. And Tali's still yet to pit. He still seems to be doing okay on his tyres. He's just under a lot of pressure from Fredrik Nilsson. This has got to be costing his race dearly. He wants to be fighting up with his teammate Kirchhoff. He's 9 seconds off, 11 seconds off at the moment. So.
If you look at his lap times, it seems like he did pit on lap 23 actually. So I would guess that Tali is out on a new set of tyres.
So Rasmus Tali would have made a dramatic climb then through the field during the pit stop window, and now into a points position after again starting from the back of the field like Nilsson. So these two started at the back together, they're now fighting over points positions together. So this is going to be very good to see how this develops. As Nilsson going to try and pick up a slipstream down the straight. We're on lap 31 here in Shanghai as Bono Huis and Mikkonen cross the line. Let's see what Nilsson can do. He gets very close to Tali, but Tali very good at these kind of conditions, of course, a former world champion, so he knows how to handle this kind of pressure. And so they bounce over the final corner curb, and the real battle, of course, is still Blair Disley and Poniatowski now fighting for 12th position. These two must have been at it going all race, having a really big scramble throughout the entire race, I mean, after Poniatowski's spin and, Disley losing his front wing, they're still going at it, I mean, Disley's climbed right back on him. This is for P12, and Poniatowski having a bit of a moment, and Blair Disley taking advantage of that as he slowly glides up to the back of that Ash Aero F1.
Blair Disley is eating his wheel at the end of this race. Stuck behind Poniatowski. No way through.
He'll be really sick of that car after the race, I guess.
I guess if he does get past it, for him it'll be really entertaining, but for us it's been a really exciting battle to watch. It's been ongoing for around the past, 30 laps almost. I've been going at it for pretty much the whole race. And look how close Blair Disley's getting now. He has to feel after 30 laps. Surely there's got to be a way past his Ash Aero car. And then, of course, Nilsson just breezed back to the back and took them both in a matter of 2 laps. And then they've resumed battle once again. So Disley gets very close this time. Surely he's going to try and move. But he's at the back. He's got the outside line as Poniatowski takes the inside. A big lock up by Fort in front. And looks like Disley's got it for once. He's got it, Blair Disley, after a massive battle, has finally put the move on Poniatowski. But now got to be careful not to make a mistake and keep Poniatowski behind him.
Well, it's done.
It was a copy of the move he did earlier on in the race, but this time he made it stick around the final corner as well.
So a massive sigh of relief, a burden off of his chest now for Blair Disley, and he can now push on. Try and take Ala Fort, who's in P11 at the moment. And then there's Wayne Room in P10, who's trying to follow Dennis Powell, who fell 3 seconds behind Frederick Nilsson in the Tarley battle. These guys are 0.3 off each other, 0.4, 0.3. As they come up to the corner complex just before the long straight, and Nilsson, bit of a slide there on the end, nothing major, but you can see the car just almost gliding across the tarmac. There's Frederick Nilsson. Will you have a look on Tarley this time? These two both very fast cars. I mean, you've got Kirkov in 6th as Frederick's teammate, and Mikko Linden in 3rd place as your Tarley's teammate. But Nilsson seems to have made the move stick, goes up the inside for P7. That's a good move there by Frederick Nilsson, and Tarley down to P8, but he's not going to have that. He can just hold the line. Oh, he eased off a bit too much, and he's going to have to try and fight for that one back. But another superb move by Frederick Nilsson. He's having a stormer of a race today.
Yeah, it was a nice clean overtaking. Get him just blocking on the apex so that Russell Stali can't get through on the inside. Just well, on the throttle and go to the last corner. So it was a good overtaking.
Now Frederick Nilsson is 11 seconds off of his teammate Atse Kirkov. Was it 9? No, 9 seconds. His teammate Atse Kirkov, who's in a Twister racing as well. And he's trying to track down John-Eric Saxon. He's having a pretty clean race today, John-Eric Saxon. He's certainly been up there, not really had any trouble from cars or damage or stuck behind anyone majorly. He's just constantly been there, pumping in the lap times, and just been consistently good for the first half of the race.
Yeah, the top 6 really has been doing very well. Just had clean races and nothing, no really big fights or anything either, just keeping it running.
And look at Blair Disley, he's already taken out a second over Poniatowski, so he did have the faster car, and he's now trying to eat his way up to Ala Fort, who's he's gaining up to around 0.8 at the moment as Fort locks up, and that's going to give Blair Disley a big advantage now. But yeah, I mean, a second off of Poniatowski of a man you've been following for 30 laps, it's got to be an indication that he did have the faster car in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see, even if you're just 1 second or maybe a little bit more faster than the other guy, it's so hard to pass due to the dirty air. And to see that it's hard to pass.
Yeah, and look at Blair Disley now. He's still P12 following Fort, who just had a big moment, and Disley just right up on the back of him now. I mean, to think, he was if he has to go through the second half of the race following Fort, then he's going to have a very eventful race full of being stuck behind a car he doesn't want to be. As Fort looks up again in that ATR silver line, that's going to give Disley a nice run as they enter the straight, but Fort pulling away nicely. Let's see if Disley can make something this lap. 186 miles an hour now as they come down the straight. Gets very close. Looking for, he wants to the outside. Quickly double backs up the inside. Has he made it stick? Seems to have at the moment, as long as he doesn't outbrake himself. Yeah, it's another superb move. Bit of a twitch at the end, but a nice move there by Blair Disley. So, seems to have found his rhythm now, and now he can try and push on and catch the GT Omega of Reno Room. So the running order now is Bono Cruz leading, 10.4 seconds behind is his teammate Jaakko Mikkonen, who's doing a really good job keeping Nico Piemelainen at bay. David Greco in 4th place, followed by John-Eric Saxon in 5th. Then a twist of double in 6th and 7th, Kirchhoff and Frederick Nilsson. Rasmus Tarly, P8, Dennis Howe in 9th, being slowly tracked down by Reno Room, who rounds out the top 10. Blair Disley just got himself up to P11 after another beautiful move on Alafort Silverline, who's in P12. Karol Poniatowski, P13, just 1 second and a half now off of 4. Jim Paris after his spin is still 14th place. 15th is Ernesto De Angelis, 16th Morgan Moran, and 17th is Giuseppe Marconi. No real major battles going on at this second now. They all seem to have cleared up as Nilsson is just still 9 seconds behind his teammate. And Tarly's nearly 4 seconds behind now. No, Tarly's, yeah, he's about 3 seconds behind as they start lap 36 out 56. So 20 laps to go here in Shanghai. And nothing's written in stone yet. They've still got a lot of work to do, these drivers. They're never going to have a free moment to themselves here.
And De Angelis is trying to move past Paris is in 14th and 15th.
Yeah, they
It's
head up
about
to the
the closest
final
battle there is on the track.
Yeah, De Angelis just got a bit leery on that final corner, a bit too aggressive and bounced over the curb, and that allowed Parisis to just get a slight gain heading into turn 1. Oh, and look at that, is that a lap car through? It must have been, surely.
No, they are fighting for position.
No, it wasn't. That's a three-way battle going on. There was nearly contact there, and Moreland with a big twitch in the ATR Silverline car. And De Angelis down to 16th now after losing that place to Moreland. So these three heading round. It's not for a points position, but every position matters here. And they try and make a name for themselves in the sim racing line of work. And look at De Angelis now. He is trying to track down Moreland, but Moreland is hot on Parisis' ghost speed tail. And look how close he is. He's almost trying to open up around that corner. That would have been a miraculous move, but he's going to have to try and pick something up down the slipstream. They could end up 3 abreast here if they're not careful, as Morgan Moran gains up on Parisis very nicely. Parisis staying on the outside line as Moran forced to go up the inside, breaks a lot later. Oh, they're side by side through the corner. Someone's going to get shut out, and that's Parisis. He's got to be careful. Angelis is a bit far behind, but Parisis might try and take it back, but he's let go of the throttle quite early through that corner. So Moran up to 14th place after taking both Angelis and Parisis.
A very good move out up to 14th position as well.
Yeah, now it's all up to Ernesto De Angelis' NetRex Grand Prix to see if he can catch up to Jimmy Parisis. You've got Dennis Howe, his teammate, who's in 9th place at the moment, driving a fantastic race, trying to pick up some points for the NetRex Grand Prix team. You've got Rasmus Tarly, P8, Frederick Nilsson, P7, who's gaining a bit of time to his teammate now. He's now 8 seconds behind, so he's getting there. We could see a late twist in the tail between the two twisters. And Mikko Piemelainen still 3 seconds behind Jaakko Mikkonen. But Bono Wheat is still, he's led from the very start of the race. He's had no real competition. He's just been, he's almost like he's in a league of his own. He's just in a completely different car, it seems. He's just flying around this track.
Yeah, I'm looking to his lap times, and it just looks like he's just putting the car on the automatic pilot. The lap times are going faster and faster and faster, and so consistent. It's like an alien.
He obviously isn't kind of human here. Bono Crease is charging that Precision Motorsports car. It's going to have to be precise the amount of points they count up at the end of this one, because it's going to be a lot if it finishes the way it is. It's a Precision Motorsport 1-2 at the moment. If it ends how it does now, they're on lap 39 as Crease crosses the line. Let's see if Puma Linden can put a bit of pressure on Jaakko Mykkänen. And John Eric Saxon as well, we haven't spoken much about him. He is 5 seconds behind David Greco, so he can be quite easily caught if David Greco makes a mistake, or you know, vice versa. 4 seconds behind is Akshay Kirchhoff. So they're all still reasonably close. There's nothing, you know, is for certain yet in this race. And Dennis Howe 3 seconds behind Rasmus Tali, so he's really starting to apply the pressure there. But another battle going on is Alafort and Poniatowski. This is for P12 coming down the outside there of that final corner. Alafort in the silver line after taking 2 guys in 1 lap is now going to try and have his chances with Karol Poniatowski, who's in P12 as they come down the final straight. 0.5 at the moment separate them as they head into turn 1. And then a quick flick left on the steering wheel into turn 2. Right about there you go. Very quick flick left by the drivers. They're going to be have lightning reactions to be one of these drivers here.
And De Angelis is past Paris.
That's a nice move. Let's see if De Angelis can now catch up to Morgan Moran, who's 3 seconds in front. Or will Paresis have another look back? But right now it seems that Poniatowski's got his race occupied at the moment by Alafort, who's closing in on him very closely, watching on like a hawk to see if Poniatowski makes another error. Well, surely as a driver, if you know you've made an error at one corner, you try so hard not to make that error again. You know, you've got to be careful, because you might end up making the same error twice.
And Paris is a spun as well.
Oh yeah, there's no real damage though for Jim Paresis, and he hasn't lost any positions either, but it's still going to be a confidence blow on that corner in future for the Ghost Speed Racing driver. Yeah, and Alafort is apparently passed Poniatowski somehow, because apparently he is 3 seconds in front. So Alafort on a real charge now. Poniatowski's just got no answer. Wow, what a pull out there. He's just doing a Blair Disley. Blair Disley is flying and he's catching up to Reino Room. Let's see if there can be a 3-way battle at the end here. Reino Room as well, he's been pretty consistent all race. He's in P10 at the moment in the GT Omega after Jack Keatley retired, so he's the sole remaining GT Omega Racing, and see if he can pick up some points. Fredrik Nilsson now just 8 seconds behind Kirchhoff, so he's definitely putting the push on. As he brakes heavily now into the hairpin, shifting down 3 gears down to 30 miles an hour before reaching back for the throttle, trying to gain a bit of traction out of turn 16, and then bouncing over the curb slightly on 17. You've got to be careful. We've seen many a driver in the past bounce over that curb and take off their front wing or even clip the barrier. It's a very dangerous corner that has got to be taken with enough caution but aggression at the same time. See what kind of lap time Alan Fort does as he crosses the line. He's around 6 seconds behind Blair Disley. And he's got Karol Poniatowski just behind him, who's still trying to push on, but he's lost a lot of ground after being passed by Room, Disley and Fort this race. So we've got 15 laps to go here in China. And what's been a very entertaining championship race so far. Plenty of action and well, maybe even still plenty more to come.
Even though it's slightly boring right now, with everyone seemingly with a big distance to every guy around them.
Oh, as Giuseppe Marconi with a big lock up there as David Greco P4 tries to get past the lap car and does so successfully. I will be right back in a second. I just have to do something, but hopefully when I come back we will, I don't know, we might see some cars slightly closer together and a late twist in the tail here at Shanghai.
Right, so let's do a run down the order then. First on the road is Bonhouse. He is 13.5 seconds ahead of Jaakko Mikkonen. In third position we have Mikko Puumalainen. Fourth is David Greco. Fifth, Jan-Erik Saxen. Sixth, Atse Kirchhoff. Seventh is Fredrik Nilsson. Eighth is Rasmus Thalling. Ninth is Dennis Höll. And Rainer Room is rounding out the top 10. In 11th position we have Blair Disley. 12th is Alar Fourth. 13th is Karol Poniatowski. 14th, Morgan Moran. 15th, Ernesto De Angelis. 15th, Jim Paris is 70th, Giuseppe Marcon. That's the 17 guys we have in the race still.
Look at the gap between Mikkonen and Puumalainen. I think it's very frustrated for Puumalainen. He was just half a second behind Mikkonen, just stops and comes out and 2.5 seconds and yeah.
Yeah, they were on the same pace, both.
Yeah.
In front of the pit stops, and when it came after the pit stops, they're still on the same pace, but with a big gap between them. So it must be a bit frustrating to lose those 3 seconds on the pit stops, but still he can't see the guy ahead of him on the track, so he's not giving up all hopes just yet.
No,
yeah, I'm back
well,
now and like Atse Kirchhoff still catching Saxon. He's not too far off him. Got enough laps to try and move up to 5th position. Fredrik Nilsson is now just like 7 seconds. Is that 6?
6.
Yeah, 6 seconds.
Yeah.
No, 7. Yeah, behind his teammates. So he's really been on a push this whole race. He's started from the rear end of the grid. To get up into the top 10 alone is an achievement, but the passes he's made and the amount he's catching his teammate now is just unreal. He's probably my driver of the day right now.
With that big, the high pace that he's kept, it seems like his tires is keeping up as well. He's not overdriving them, and it seems like they're still in pretty good shape.
Absolutely. As we look further down the field for any fighting going on, it's just Poniatowski and Fort are on 2 seconds behind for P12. Apart from that, no other major things at the moment happening around the field. For Ernesto De Angelis is slowly. Oh, D'Angelo's had a massive moment there on the exit of turn 15. Almost went sideways as he came back on. That was... Luckily it wasn't a spin, but that's definitely taken away his hopes of making a pass in the next couple of laps. And the lead between Huis and Mikkonen is 14 seconds, so... but look at this, so Linden in the Matt Court Racing is still 3 seconds off of Mikkonen at the moment. But catching is one thing, passing is another, but you know, you got to wonder, he's got 11 laps left to try and secure second position and split his Precision Motorsport dominance. So is it possible to do so, like in the last stint of the Grand Prix, to catch someone and overtake them? We've seen it in the past, you know, with in the World Trophy race with Macaulay, and he made a pass on the last lap. But is there enough pressure on the drivers already to finish the race, or is it worth that extra risk to make the move?
Well,
for the number 3, yeah. Well, maybe. Well, you get some extra points, but it's well, I think at the end of the race you can put some more pressure on the one in front. So, well, I think yeah, set pressure, a lot of pressure, and hopefully, well, guy in front of you will collapse and make a little mistake, so you can pass. So,
there's been no major crashes this race except for the Blair Disley and Poniatowski incident. Only Jack Keithley and Patrick DeVitt, who aren't going to finish this one at the moment. We're at 10 laps to go now here in Shanghai, the Formula SimRacing World Championship. Bono Huis is leading at the moment and still showing his dominance after leading from pole position. Leading through the pit stops, came out of the pit stops in first place safely, 7 seconds in front of Mikkonen, and has since doubled that lead, and it's up to 15.1 seconds now.
and the top 4 drivers on the track are the top 4 drivers in the championship as well, so
yeah, it's looking very good at the moment for Precision Motorsports in the constructors. A 1-2 finish. Team and the owner can't ask for more than that, really.
I think also Blair Disley will be knocking on the door of Rainer Room at the end of the race, catching up every lap almost a half a second. So very interesting.
Yeah, he's just down to a 3-second gap now. Is Blair Disley, as he tries to probably get himself into the top 10. This is for a points finish, remember. So Blair Disley's driven an absolute stunning race, been stuck behind Poniatowski for the majority of it, but now he's got himself free and he's starting to put pressure on Room. Let's see if he can pass Room quicker than he did to Poniatowski, and then hopefully he can get a points finish. But both these drivers deserve that 1 point, so be interesting to see what one comes up and who's got the faster car, because Rainer Room's teammates out at the moment, so he'll be the sole driver taking points for the team, whereas even if Blair Disley doesn't finish, David Greco in the Sister 2-5, good result for them if they end up with a double. Let's see what the gap is between Disley and Room as they cross the line. As Disley's going up to the final corner now. Very cleanly taken. So the gap's around 4 seconds. Roughly around 3.8, 3.9. So let's see if Blair Disley can catch remaining 9 laps there is. It's definitely possible. And let's just see if it's approvable by Blair Disley. If he's got enough left in the tank and enough energy left after all those moves trying to put over Poniatowski, and the amount of thought and focus put into that, it's really got to take it out of you. So after a long fight like that, you've got to be pretty exhausted. circuit temperature is 35 degrees at the moment, so optimum temperatures for the tyres, and the ambient temperature is 27, so you can see how hot the track is due to all the friction of the tyres running along it all the time. And I'm sure, you know, when the drivers get aggressive in flat spot, that doesn't help the temperature cool down in any way. Anyway, so we're on lap 48, and it's Bono Kuis from 16 seconds behind Jaakko Mikkonen, followed by the Mack Corp Racing of Mikko Puumalainen in 4th place, David Greco. 5th is John-Eric Saxon, 6th and 7th are Fredrik Nilsson, Rasmus Tali in P8, followed by Dennis Hurtels Netrex in P9, who's driven again a very constant race to finish in the points. P10, it's Reino Room, but he's starting to undercome a bit of pressure now from Blair Disley. He's in P11 at the moment. P12, Ala Fort. 13 is Carl Poniatowski. P14 is Morgan Morand. P15, Ernesto De Angelis. And 16 is Jim Parasis, who's been lapped, as well as Giuseppe Marconi. Paris is a course after a moment, so he's going to be not in the running for points this race, unfortunately, in the ghost speed, but hopefully later on in the season.
And Fredrik Nilsson is, well, he has the smell of blood now. He's only 3 seconds behind Kirchhoff. He can see him right in front of him on the track.
Yeah, but Nilsson's got to be careful though. The last thing he wants to do is take out you and your teammate, especially 1 in the closing stages of the Grand Prix, but 2, you're 6th and 7th in the points, you know, so that's a reasonably high finishing for the both of you. So last thing they want to do is take each other out and score a 0 on points finishes, and if that did happen, then that would mean that Poniatowski would move up to 11th, and it will be Blair Disley and Ala Fort taking some points in the end if that did happen. But hopefully it won't, and Nilsson will either won't catch him or will, and put a move on him very cleanly as a teammate.
Yeah, and the same kind of is between Rainer Room and Blair Disley as well.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, Marcel, you were racing earlier. When you catch up to a teammate, do you feel any more pressure when overtaking, or is it just the same as any other move?
Well, you'll be a bit more careful with it. Well, you don't want to hit your teammate or lose any front wing or something like that. So it's when you do overtaking, it gives something a little bit extra. Yeah. So it's you don't want to hit him, but it feels good to overtake your teammate, and yeah.
And of course, you're both trying to prove you want to be #1 driver in the team. So,
always.
So let's see the gap now is when they cross the line. As Nilsson really is putting the pressure on Kirchhoff. 7 laps left in this race, I think, and starting to swing in Kirchhoff's way. Not Kirchhoff, Nilsson's way at the moment, as he's gliding up to the back of his sister Twister car. That sounded good.
Oh.
3 seconds behind now. As he enters turn 1.
Nilsson has got a big advantage. He knows how to overtake, he knows how to do it, and let's see if he can do it with Kirchhoff. So,
yeah, both of these men have made very impressive moves throughout the course of the Grand Prix. It's kind of anything you can do, I can do better kind of thing. I mean, you know, you had Nilsson's move coming up to the hairpin was very nice, and then immediately after that, Asse Kirchhoff made a very, very impressive move on the same hairpin, diving up the inside of Renault Room when there was really no room available. So both of these guys very aggressive, and it'll be interesting to see if they do catch each other, who comes out on top in Twister Racing.
I hope there will be no team or something.
And meanwhile, look at that, Blair Disley's really starting to also put pressure on Renault Room now in P11, trying to fight for a points position. He's just around 2.5 seconds off of Renault Room at the moment. You can just see him in the distance when you ride on board, and it's going to be very interesting to see if Dizzy's got anything left in the tank to try and push all of that energy from earlier of trying to get past Poniatowski and hopefully get past Renault Room a bit quicker. Also, look at David Greco is catching Puma Linden at quite a rate as well. They're 6 seconds apart. And as Puma Linden's on Meekin and Nest at 3 seconds, they've been averaging that around the whole race. If one of those guys make a mistake, then, you know, you've still got another couple of guys to capitalise on it. Nilsson still tries to put pressure on Atsay Kirchhoff. He's getting it slightly closer now. You can just see that blue mist in the background even as they come up to the straight. See how much of an advantage he gains this lap.
And we actually have a couple fights for 12th position between Alan Fort and Karol Podniatowski, as well as for 14th between Moran and Angelis.
Yeah, Poniatowski's actually starting to fight back now against Fort after Fort passed him earlier on in the race. So as we head in now, we're on lap 52, 4 more laps, and Bonnequist will be home and dry to take another victory here in the Formula SimRacing World Championship.
It doesn't seem like anyone can touch him.
No, it looks well. He can just go with drive with one hand and the other hand weaving to the fence. But it's so very, very fast. Lap times steady. Also McGonan, it's every lap it's almost a half of a second that Bonnequist is faster. So he's touchable.
And Ernesto Angelis has actually passed Morgan Moran for 14th position. It looks like Moran spun out in the hairpin, yeah. Okay.
It also looks like Renault Room is putting up a little bit more engine boost. Disley is not coming any closer right now. Well, maybe Renault Room is going for 4 laps to go.
Everything seems to tighten up a little bit now as we come towards the end of the race.
Also, Nilsson and Kirchhoff for 9 seconds right now. So Kirchhoff is catching a little bit of Saxon right now. The gap is too big right now.
Yeah, Saxon has had some traffic, so that has compromised his lap times a little bit.
Well, I think the closest battle right now is between Kirchhoff and Nielsen right now.
It seems like it.
7 seconds.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I just had to quickly do something, but we're on lap 54, nearly lap 55, as Wheater's just got to be thanking the sigh of relief after he's driven a pretty much picture-perfect race through the whole race. I mean, this race couldn't have gone much better for the Precision Motorsports team. They've led a 1-2 for pretty much throughout, so...
Poniatowski is out.
Yeah, Poniatowski has a suspension problem. That's a very big surprise.
Van out in the hairpin. Oh, no. First corner.
So close to the end as well. You know, 2 laps off the end of the race, and he must be feeling a bit annoyed at that after driving a very nice race as well.
That's real disappointing. So close to the end of the race.
So yeah, so Nelson still hasn't caught Kirchhoff yet, and Disley still hasn't caught Room in the dying stages of the Grand Prix here at China.
Kirchhoff is revving up a bit more right now. Lost a little bit of time.
The question is, can Nelson capitalise on it? Because if he starts slipping up now, then, you know, and the tyres start fading, then maybe Nelson can put one past him in the, you know, very last stage of the Grand Prix. As Bono Huis is on his final lap now, as he goes around the exit of turn 2.
And what a race he said, just drove straight away from everyone, just off the line, and never looked back.
Yeah, same for Meekinen, but he's had a couple of scary moments where Prima Linen's been breathing down his neck, but for the majority of the race it's been a Precision Motorsports 1-2, and Bono Huis couldn't have asked for a better result really. He's led throughout, had no major pressure or threats from anyone behind him, and I'll just be really happy with the result he gets from this, I'm sure, as he comes up to the longest straight on the track now for the final time, 20 seconds clear of Jaakko Meekinen, and he has just driven a perfect race. I don't think he hasn't made one mistake throughout. As Marcel said, it's like an alien driving it. This man surely isn't human. They've got a robot or something to do this, because Bono Huis has driven an absolute perfect race as he comes down the hairpin for the final time and approaches the final corner. And he will be very happy with this, going for another World Championship. This is a perfect way to start the season. And Bono Huis claims round 4, the Chinese Grand Prix. He's won the race and he will be very happy with that. What a super drive there by Bono Huis.
That's 3 out of 3.
That was a picture-perfect start to the season. I don't think Precision Motorsports could ask more from their drivers than a 1-2 finish today, as Jaakko Meekinen glides himself across the line to finish second and claim the 1-2, and another Finn, Mikko Piemalainen, finishes in 3rd place. As David Greco, in a too fast for you twister car, finishes a much deserved 4th place. John Eric Saxon, not too far behind, finishes in 5th, and then unable to catch Kirchhoff in the end. Kirchhoff finishes 6th after slamming his car into the wall at the end there, and then Nilsson finishes in 7th. So what a drive there by Nilsson, starting at the back. And as for Tali as well, these two both start at the very rear of the grid, and they both go out to finish at 7th and 8th. So 2 point positions, 2 very aggressive and well-respected drivers in the league, putting in 2 very aggressive and well-respected drives. As Rene Room claims the final point position in 10th, and Blair Disley got close to him, but it wasn't close enough in the end. He got to 1 second, but wasn't enough in the end. What a stunning race. This race has had it all, and I mean, it's had plenty of action, lots of overtaking, a picture-perfect drive from Bono and the Precision Motorsports team. They've got to be ecstatic with that result, right? So, on to driver of the day. I think my award definitely goes to another Nilsson. This is Frederick Nilsson, after starting from the back, finishing in 7th place. What about you guys?
For me, I'd say Bono has been really on the top of the game all the way, never looking back.
Yeah, and that's he just did a really good job. But not only Bono, also the whole Precision Motorsports team has done a really great job. And well, what could we say about Frederick Nilsson? He also does a good job. Just finished behind his teammate, and well, I would like to see what if Nilsson was in the top 5 of the qualification. What could he do about a Precision Motorsports team or Puma Linden?
Absolutely. I mean, if Tarley and Nilsson had both qualified in the top 10, they would have surely both been major contenders for Bono Cuis's supremacy.
Yeah. Well, it was good, nice race to see. Also at the beginning of the of the Patrick de Witt train, 6, 7, 8 cars behind him. And
all the action that went along with that, including Poniatowski's mistake and Blair Disley's wing clipping off, and still Blair Disley managing to come out, even though having to replace the front wing and overtake Poniatowski once again, and just finish out the points behind Reino Room. But another great drive there by the Too Fast For You driver.
Yeah, sure that, yeah. Well, I think Disley isn't happy about not scoring any points, but I think he's got a good feeling about the race, battling with Poniatowski and well, almost smelling a point. Well, he also did a good job, and well, I can't wait to see Turkey in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks away, the Turkish Grand Prix in Istanbul. Obviously, the famous Turn 8 probably going to be the biggest viewing point in there. Hopefully, we'll see what kind of cars can take that flat out and who lifts off through there, because that's a corner to determine the men from the boys who takes it flat out and who lifts off through those very tight apexes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're getting anyone in for interview this race, but just in case we're not, I mean, I'm Liam Jenkins, and it's been a superb honour commentating for this championship race. It's had thrills, spills, and everything you could ask for with a race, and I've been joined by 2 great co-commentators of Marcel and Roy, and we'll be happy to call the action next time in Turkey.
Okay, bye-bye.